question I would like an answer to. When people, doctors, teachers, etc., push for wage increases, at the back of their minds are often thoughts of relative earnings, i.e., if others get 5%, then they'll want 5% as well, etc. So, and this is my question, why not, on a free vote, suggest that all MPs, or at very least the coalition members, take a 50% pay cut and no rise in expenses? Think about this for just a moment. If they took a 50% pay cut, then it would be a lot more difficult for any other group to get any public sympathy for their own wage rises. The media gains, the moral high ground, and etc., would do the coalition the power of good. The downside, of course, is a cut in wages, but rest assured, if anyone did want to resign their post, I'm sure there are plenty of other people who would want to take their place. The real saving, in comparison to the deficit, would in fact be minuscule. However, the PR effect, and therefore the savings nationally, would be huge. Let's say that all MPs did this just until XYZ. For example, economic growth was 3%, or unemployment was 1 mil, etc. Really would make a huge impact on the country. The length of time that the MPs took a pay cut is oddly not that important, provided it's more than, say, 6 months. The important thing is that we're all in this together. Yours sincerely, etc., etc. Now, I thought that was really rather a good idea. Make the MPs set a good example, and the rest of the country is bound to follow. Well, anyway, I got a reply. Thank you for your letter regarding MPs' pay and the idea of payment by results in government. I must apologise for the lengthy delay in my response. This is where she's saying sorry for making me wait 2 years since my first letter in 2010. I am glad to have the opportunity to respond to the points you have raised. I appreciate the point you make about MPs' pay and a correlation to results in public policy. While I think the efficiency of each member would be difficult to measure and monitor, partly because of the different characters and demands of each constituency, I do share your view that institutions providing public services must be held to account for the standard to which they operate. And this principle of delivering excellent results to the public is arguably no less relevant to politicians than it is to bankers. Thank you once again for contacting me on this issue, and I hope this response is helpful in outlining my own views on the issue. Do let me know if there's anything else I can do to assist you at this time, and thank you once again for your understanding. You may notice that she didn't even reply to my question. My question was, why don't you suggest that everybody has a 50% pay cut to set an example? Now, I was talking about this to a few friends like you last week, and just so happens that my MP thought that to me again. I thought I'd read you this. Thank you for your further response. I am disappointed that you did not feel I had addressed the points raised in the original letter. I hope you will be pleased to note the consultation on MPs' pay, which opened in May this year. May this year, my question was in 2010, and which is being led by the chair of the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority, IPSA, Sir Ian Kennedy. I think a free vote such as you suggest would be inappropriate while the consultation on MPs' pay is still underway. And I look forward to its findings. official response from the Prime Minister that I received in due course. Kind regards, blah, blah, blah. Well, the battle continues. This all reminded me of a really good joke that I know, and I thought I would share it with you. There's a politician who dies and goes to heaven, and he's met at the gates by St. Peter. And St. Peter says, "I'm terribly sorry. We've never actually had one of you up here. We don't really know what to do. We've had to put in some emergency measures to deal with this erroneous situation. What we've decided is that you should have a choice between heaven for eternity or hell for eternity. So you're going to spend 24 hours in each place. We're going to start in hell." And the politician says, no, wait a minute. I'm very sure I want to live in heaven, thank you very much. No, says St. Peter, you must have an informed decision. So they get in the lift and they go down to hell. And the doors open and St. Peter waves goodbye and out steps the politician. And quite frankly, it's not what he was expecting. It's a beautiful, green, sumptuous golf course with bunkers and a clubhouse in the distance. And in front of the clubhouse are all of his friends, every politician he's ever met, all standing and having a lovely time, chatting, reminiscing about the good old days. They had caviar, lobster, champagne. It was simply lovely. And in the middle of it all was the devil, a really nice chap, laughing, drinking, and they had a lovely 24 hours. They couldn't believe it went by so quickly. And there's St. Peter at the lift doors again, waving the politician back. The politician was really rather sad to have to leave hell because it was just so nice. But off he went thinking, actually, if hell was this good, then heaven must be amazing. So there they went up, back into heaven. And the doors open and he steps out into heaven. And heaven's quite nice. There's some clouds and you sit, and the politician had a go at playing the harp, but he didn't really get the hang of it. But you do have eternity to practice, so maybe that's how they all get as good as they do. But that was kind of it. There was a lot of sitting around and there were some really nice people there. But it just wasn't the same. So, surprised as he was at the end of his 24 hours, which had frankly dragged a little bit, the politician says to St. Peter, actually, if you'd said to me 24 hours ago, I would prefer hell, I would never have believed it. But actually, that's where I want to go. Just imagine, my whole life, my whole career, people wishing me to hell, and they were right, it's lovely. So, St. Peter says, if you're sure, I'm sure. So he waves him off into the lift, and the lift goes down, the doors open, and suddenly the politician isn't so sure. That beautiful, green, beautiful, rich golf course is now, well, it's burnt and scratchy, with pieces of metal in the floor. The clubhouse is on fire, who knows why.